Brian, Jack, thank you very
Hi.
much for joining us today. Hello.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you for having us.
And happy 2024 to you too.
Happy New
Happy New
Year.
Year. You can keep saying
So,
it,
Yeah,
right?
I
I
think
think you can say
so.
it
I
right
think the
too.
month of the
uh,
January at least.
Well, at least January.
Yeah.
well,
Don't take
first time we've
July
seen you.
this year.
So, very interesting news show, Expats, Hong Kong 2014, following Margaret, married to Clarke, played by Brian, and Hilary, married to David, played by Jack. What drew you to these characters?
I guess I'll start off. I think being a father. I think first and foremost, I have children, and in that sense, I never got to portray someone that I'm so incredibly close to already, and then have it flip on its head and have this tragedy happen where
Yeah,
it would literally wouldn't wish this upon your worst enemy scenario, and to be able to live through that and how I would actually connect myself if that ever happened um,
yeah,
was so incredibly compelling and challenging at the same time. And I think that upon Lulu Wang being a part of this and really helming it together, and I love her, and gosh, the things that she's created, especially the farewell, I immediately gravitated towards this project, and um, so glad I did. So glad I
It
did.
makes such a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it was a wonderful phone call to get from Lulu. She's been a friend for a long time. We got to work together on her first feature, and she just always, you know, shows up in such a sort of unique way with something completely special and brilliant, and just as I thought it would be, as complex and layered and sad and tragic and beautiful and funny as it can be. And, that's what she does so perfectly. And putting together such an amazing group of actors,
definitely.
writers, producers, the whole shebang. It was amazing from day one.
It's quite the ensemble, actually.
Yeah.
Could you share, without spoilers, a little about your character? I mean, what is obviously there's all this tragedy involved, but a little bit about Clarke and a little bit about David.
Yeah, I think Clark enjoys being a dad. I think he's a family man. I think he's the one that tells really bad dad jokes, right? And prides himself on that, as do I. So there we're extremely connected, and I think, there's a piece of him especially that he's the one that brought the family to Hong Kong, right? So when this tragedy does happen, this guilt or this sense of just he's the one that created this particular
Yeah.
situation that the whole family has to go through, and then it's his
Yeah,
struggle to try to keep it all together in that sense. So it was incredibly, I guess, thought-provoking. The whole series is, but for me, and especially for Clark, it was something that I extremely gravitated towards and connected with, purely because I could bring pieces of myself to the
yeah,
character.
Yes, I,
great.
I, I mean, maybe I didn't connect as much in my real life. My dear David,
Yes.
it was so
Poor Dave.
it's so fun taking on a real character, though. I
Yeah.
love that. And
Yeah,
when Lulu called me, she was like, this is a guy who's going through pretty much a midlife crisis, questioning everything, all the choices he's made, making some very foolish and foolhardy decisions, but living with them and actually going all the way with them, and sort of, that's the sort of tragedy of David, is he's a beautifully flawed human being, as we all are. So
Yeah.
it's always fun to experience and sort of get into that mindset.
yeah.
It was something, and it was a lot of food. It was fun.
There are a lot of life-changing events in there.
Yes.
Moving to a new city and a lot of tragedy, like really heartfelt, emotional tragedy. How do you remove yourself from the emotion?
Remove ourselves from the emotion.
Once you're wrapped, how do you
Oh,
step away from all
once
that
Oh,
you
was your
wrap.
rap?
emotion?
I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah, that'd be the
That'd
actor.
be
No, no. It's like,
right.
no, no,
Don't do
delve,
that.
go
Yes.
deeper into emotion.
I mean, I feel like I'm very fortunate to have the best wife in the world and adoring my
Excellent.
child. And I
You
think,
kid, exactly.
you know, I think
Excellent.
the professional life and the personal life, you know, though we bring our personal into our professional, I think when we leave our professional, we can strictly be personal.
I'm
And that's what
exactly the same.
I've
Brilliant.
I
absolutely
completely agree. I
loved about
completely agree.
everything.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
yeah.
Perfect. Gentlemen, time flies when you're having fun. Thank
It
you
really
so
does.
much.
Thank you, mate. Lovely to speak.
Appreciate it.